All right, another Beauty from Ashes post. Sorry, I'll slow down. Another Beauty from Ashes post. The ashes is my exercise life. I have pushed myself for so many years to try to do something to accomplish this goal. I'm gonna run a marathon or a half marathon or even a 5K or maybe a pre-5K. The reality is, when I get up, I don't want to do it. I hate it, and it's so hard for me to keep back doing it. And I've been thinking about this for a long time. And my awesome friend gave me this post about how we just need to show up. Melinda Scott, she's awesome. Just showing up. So I tried that. Just showing up. Can I tell you what I've learned from this? I'm finding beauty in the ashes of the wasteland of my exercise desires. So for years, that way, first of all, it's backtrack. Imagine that you are a kid and you're going to school. And imagine you have lots of classes you enjoy. In theater, doesn't matter what you do, they say you are never enough. You always have to keep going harder. You're not loud enough. You're not charismatic enough. Let's say it back to math. Get to class, and it doesn't matter how much you master. There's always the looming aggression of your teacher saying, "That's okay, but you really could do a lot better." Every day, all right? And how about reading? That's the more core thing. And with reading, you say, "Hey, that's why you read that word, but guess what? You just have like a million more to go, so push harder." Right? Well, that's what we do with our exercise. Some people that work, some people have personalities like, "Yeah, be aggressive, push myself." I am not that person. And honestly, it's created a lot of PTSD when it comes to exercise regularly. Not apologizing for that one. Anyway, so I've realized I've started doing this showing up. I'll give myself grace as I walk out the door and say, you know what? I'm going to show up today. And even if I walk to the end of my driveway and back, I showed up. Kudos to me. Today, so I noticed over time. Sorry, I keep jumping into the next thought. So over time, I've noticed that it's not as hard for me to get out the door. And I came with a route that was pretty straightforward and simple. Started walking it. Then I started partially lumbering it, which is what I call a mixture between a jog and a walk, the lumber. Because no one's identified that stage before. Not a fast skip, but it's a lumber. So I lumber for part of the time. And one thing I've noticed is as much as my body hates to be told what to do and to be pushed, if I walk that route regularly, like even for 3 days, I've developed muscles that my body didn't realize that I developed. So it starts processing later and later each time. So today, I lumbered farther. Thought, hey, I'm feeling pretty cool. I can go past where I normally turn around. Even though I know there's a big hill, I got past that. So I passed it. This is cool. Trying to start coming back. I'm like, and now I'm really tired. So I thought, do I want to go to that tree up there? Sure. Oh, that tree. No, wait. I know, just for fun. Hava told me you should start counting backwards with numbers. And I count with numbers backward. And get myself to go a little longer. I'm going to do 100 and count backwards. Then I'm like, it's up a hill. It's called Hava's Happy Hill because it's horrendous. We need to put some positive association there. Like, how about 75 or 73? Because I like that number. Like, you know what? I have select number 37. So I count starting 37. When I'm done, I'm done. And I checked my mind and my psyche and didn't feel stressed because you can recognize that stress feeling after a while. I go, okay, I go 37. So I did it. Then at 37, I was barely chugging it, partially up the hill. But then I gave myself grace and said, Mary, you went farther today than usual. And you still tried to go up the hill. Kudos to you. There was none of the back talk of tomorrow will be better. No, I don't look forward. I look backward and congratulate myself because I have so many years of trauma associated with exercise, self-inflicted. And it's like teaching a kid to want to go to church or helping them want to go to church. The more positive endorphins they have sitting there on that pew, the more likely they'll be to come back when they're adults. And yes, honestly, I bribed my kids sometimes. Sometimes I know if they're struggling, I'll bring treats. Whatever, I will look aside from all those critical glances, like, how dare you bring all that stuff for your children? Why not just discipline? Like, well, I'm happy for your children. My children need to be bribed so they can have those happy memories. Like even going to church, it used to be, I was like frantic. Like, get to church, we've got to get to church on time. You put on the smile when you get to church, right? And my sister-in-law, Nisha, pointed out, whoo, that's backwards. What you gotta do is, and my kids are never gonna go to church if all they experience is mother abuse in the morning. And so I'm like, and not that I'm saying my goal is for them to always go to church, but I just want to be as positive an experience as possible without me getting in the way. So they can have the choice later, unclouded by my trauma that I've added to them. So that morning for church, I'm like, okay, what are my expectations? To show up with children having experienced the least amount of abuse as possible. Yeah, good Joe. So I started adding as much. There's a dog here. Good boy. Sit, sit, sit. Stay. Leave it. Good boy. Oh, so good boy. Stay. 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 He's doing such a good job. Sorry, I got to congratulate him. He's a hound dog. He does what we